Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dylan's Dive Bar. We are so excited. So, if you had your eye on the IG page, you know that we have a very special guest with us tonight, and we're going to be having a spiritual conversation. So, before we get into that, we are going to talk just a little bit, introduce the Dive Bar to first time viewers. If this is your first time tuning in to Dylan's Dive Bar, this is a podcast that is about conversations, community, and cocktails. So, our goal is to have conversations that spark change, provoke thought, and help us reach the goal of becoming better versions of ourselves. We have community because we support each other in that strive, in that effort. And of course, cocktails because it's a dive bar and no bar is complete without cocktails. And we have a very special one for you here tonight. So, welcome to Dylan's Dive Bar. I am your host, Randy Glover, aka Elaine Dillon. So, let's get into it. So, what we do on Dylan's Dive Bar is we acknowledge all aspects of hospitality. So, we're going to be doing a restaurant shout out a little later, and we're going to do what I call quick dips. Our quick dip is just my opinion on a couple of different things. So, what I'm going to do is work a little backwards. We're going to start with introducing our guest because I want her to chime in on our quick dips. And we're going to do a live restaurant shout out because we're trying a brand new restaurant for the first time tonight. So, I'm going to introduce, I call her Nike, but her name is Anayka, and she is a yoni practitioner. She is a Reiki practitioner. I want to say doctor, but practitioner. And she is also a medium, a psychic medium. And I had the pleasure of meeting her when she took my bartending class. Y'all, this is why I like being a bartending instructor, okay? If you have been tuning in, you will know I've had a couple of my students on here, and I meet some interesting people, okay? We have had a sexpert on here.
Oh, wow.
We've had a massage therapist on here. So my students, y'all just bring so much interestedness to my life, which is why you are here. So she actually, y'all, she talked to some of my loved ones who had passed on, and she talked to some loved ones of some of her classmates, and all of us said the same thing. I'm about to cry. It was just it was so beautiful. So I'm so excited for you to be here tonight. Welcome to the Dive Bar. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do before we get started with anything else.
Okay, my name is Nike. I go by Nike La Bruja. I am a psychic medium / tarot reader. I've basically been having this gift since I was a little girl. I was basically born with it. My purpose, I feel like, on earth is to help heal ancestral trauma and break generational curses and be a voice for those who are no longer with us.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Okay, so y'all already know that those ancestral traumas and generation, that's a huge thing, especially in the Black community. So I think that's something a lot of our younger generations are on. I'm so proud of you. Hi, Natalie. So honestly, that's something a lot of the younger generations in the Black community have been doing. And they've been catching some flack from some of the older generations because they have been just very unapologetic about breaking those generational curses. But I think it's a beautiful thing. And I hope that it brings healing for them and even their family members to do things like that, to do things differently, shake things up. And I think with every generation, they learn a little bit more and try to help, bring their family into a new era. So the fact that you're helping with that is amazing.
Yes, I feel like a blessing just to be able to share my gift with other people.
You are because you provide an opportunity that I think a lot of us, that's the one thing that hurts the most when we're grieving is not getting to say something or thinking something that's not true. One of the things she shared with me, for those of you who don't know, I lost a daughter. It'll be now 10 years in August. And one of the things that my little girl said to me was that it wasn't my fault and that there was nothing that I could have done to prevent it. And that was like a huge weight off my shoulders. I mean, it was one thing to hear from the doctors, but it was different knowing that she said it.
Right.
Because there were so many times where when I did, think about it and I cried, the one thing I would do was apologize because while I was still pregnant, one of the things I said to her was, we're going to be okay. Mommy's got you. And I just felt like, as her mom, I should have been able to make sure that she was okay and protect her. And I couldn't. And like when they put me under, I was pregnant. When I woke up, she was no longer here. And that was huge. That was like a big weight that you took off my shoulders, being able to hear her say that, knowing that she said that. So thank you for that.
No problem.
And that alone, just girl, oh my gosh, like that took the whole cake. Like that day, I was like, dang, it's a good day. Like that was huge. So thank you for that. No. And hey, look, y'all need to talk to her, okay? Because that was, it was just a very healing moment. And knowing that there's no way you could have possibly known that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people, that's one of the things that you deal with is people assuming that you're, scamming people, right. Or, she probably knew. There is no way you could know those things because, and the funny thing is when you said my grandfather was like, you like your granddaddy said that he has her. My brother actually nicknamed her granddaddy.
Wow, I'm getting chills.
Right. So it was like, that was her nickname from her uncle. Oh, and wow. He was like, your granddaddy says, and I was like, oh my God. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. Right. Like, there's no way you could have known that because nobody knew that outside of our family that he called her that because he was convinced for the longest that I was having a boy. Right. And so he kept being like, hey, granddaddy. And then we found out I was having a girl. He was like, she's still granddaddy. I don't care. And so
which is so funny because I don't know if you remember. I was like, I don't know if it's a boy or if it's a girl. Yes. So like things like that, when things come up like that, it's usually signs that only you would know. So I'm happy that you were able to be like, okay, like that clicked where you was like, yes, I know she's telling the truth. Because sometimes spirits are all over the place because they have characteristics like us. So they'll be like this and this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so confused. But it makes sense later on, like why the confusion was there because the story that you're telling now, that's amazing.
Y'all, I'm telling y'all, like when she said it, it was like there was nobody else in the room with us, even though there was a bunch of people in the room with us, y'all. And it's like I didn't hear anything else other than you. And it's like we just shut everybody out and we were talking and she was so respectful, y'all. She was like she talked to one guy and she got like real close to him and asked him a question. And I was like, that's so sweet. She just bust him out what she said. And he was like, yeah. And you saw the look on his face like, what the hell? Yeah. But it was a crazy moment, but it was an amazing, crazy moment. So that was, y'all, I'm telling you.
And I feel like, that's why I said I feel like my purpose is here. Because, the message that gave to that guy, I felt like that could have saved him from like either having his own life, taking his own life because of decisions, or, taking his own life for a decision where he could be incarcerated or, something like that. I just feel like whenever, sometimes I'd be like in a grocery store, like, and I want to talk to people and tell them, but then like sometimes people shut me out and it kind of hurts me because it's like, I just want to help you. Yeah. But then there's those people that like allow me to pass those messages. And I'm like, oh my God, just to bring healing into their life or change the way that they live. It's just, I feel like it heals me healing them.
Yes.
So I just love what I do. I feel like if I did not know that I had this gift or who I am, I would not be as successful, as happy, as God-fearing as I am today.
I love it. And I'm telling you, y'all, when you have a moment to talk to her, just give into the moment. Like, it wasn't one of those things where, like, the moment she said it in class, like, I have everybody introduce themselves, and she said, I'm a medium. And I was like, oh, and I wanted to stop right then and be like, I have so many questions. But, at this moment, I'm like, I'm on the clock. So right. I'm at work, and I couldn't be like, so we're just going to talk because I'm supposed to be teaching them how to bartend. But I just literally wanted to be like,
could you talk to me, please? Right.
These questions I have. And it was, and I saw the look on your classmates' faces, and it was kind of like we all wanted to be like,
right.
Before we move on.
Right.
We got a question. So when you just opened up that day, and I was like, oh, and it was funny because she said, somebody lost a baby. And I was like, oh Lord. And I was like, I'm finna cry in front of these children. They're gonna be like, Miss Randy. And it was funny because my best friend Courtney, she told me, she said, if you think about her a lot, then she's gonna get a feeling about her. And I think about her all the time. I'm like, I think about her all the time. So when you said it, I was like, oh Lord, don't cry. I was fighting tears so hard, but it was happy tears. But it was truly just an amazing experience. And even for your classmates, when you were talking to them, and again, everybody said the same thing, I'm about to cry, because it was just one of those things, like, there's no way you could know what you were saying and how it was going to affect us. Like, that was, y'all, okay. So before I get all emotional again, all right, so let's talk about our quick dips. So this is just my opinion on certain things. And if you have been paying attention to the news, they've had a documentary about Nickelodeon and with the things that the child stars have been they went through while they were, doing the shows and stuff. And my actual quick dip is about a commentary that was on the documentary. There was this one particular news source that was talking about it. And the one thing they said was, this person talked about, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, sexual misconduct. But then there were two individuals who were talking about racism that they had experienced. And the news source said alleged racism. Everyone else's, victimization was validated.
Right.
But then it was alleged racism. And that is just something that aggravates me, that Black and brown people, when we say we experience racism, all of a sudden we start getting they start gaslighting us. They start acting like it's our imaginary friend that lives in the oven or whatever. And it's like,
get over it.
Right. And it's like the only person who sees it is you, because the person experiencing it is me. Right. So I really think we have to get past that. Like, people always want to say, don't play the race card, take it out of the deck. If you don't want me to play the race card, take it out of the deck. And there are so many ways that people perpetrate racism, especially, institutionally. When we start talking about getting loans for businesses or loans for houses, there are so many industries where we need representation, because if there's not, then we get shafted.
Right.
And it's like they, alleged racism, but all the other accusations spot on. We believe them, we support you. So we don't support the people who are dealing with it, because that's not a real thing. Like, we're just not going to we're not going to talk about that. It's alleged, but everything else was
very much on.
Very much, it was that happened. I believe it. It's like, you weren't there. So why is it theirs alleged? Like, I feel like if we're going to believe one person who survived it, we should believe all of them. So what are your thoughts when we start talking about the racism that Black and brown people are told to let go of, get over?
Excuse me, but I think it's bullshit. I think that, it is very present in today's time, and I feel like it should be voiced. People should not be silenced because just like you go out the door every day, you are threatened with so many things. With the police, with being stereotyped, with just how the world views you. You're limited to what you do. You're limited to how people see you. You're already put in a category walking out that door. So I feel like if it's still an issue, we still need to talk about it. We still need to protest about it. We still need to make it a current situation, not just put it under the rug, because our ancestors fought way too hard for us to just sweep it under the rug.
Exactly.
Way too hard.
And there are literal laws in place to protect marginalized groups. And it's like, and one lady, I'll never forget this. I was having this good argument with this lady on Facebook, y'all. I'm talking about, I was giving it to her. She was like, all of the affirmative action, things like that, that's Black privilege. And I was like, oh, I wish I could go through this phone on you right now. Like, I'm sorry, Black privilege. There are literal laws in place to ensure that we get a level playing field. That's not privilege.
Yeah.
Okay. Privilege is not needing that law and getting the head start simply because you were born into a certain ethnic group. That's privilege. And it's, when people say, oh, I don't have any privilege, or let me give you my white privilege card. It's like, you still don't understand, or you're just trying to not understand what we mean when we say white privilege, because we've explained it. Let's be clear. It's been explained. We have said, this is what it is. And we've given examples of how it's used. And for people to say, oh, well, you can have my card because I don't know what that looks like. Yes, you do. You do. And it's always the people who are perpetrating racism who want to say, let's stop talking about it.
Right.
And you talk about it as if we like it, like it's our security blanket. We would love to get rid of racism.
No, for real.
We would love it. We would love, oh my gosh. Like, I would love to walk in a room. I walked in a restaurant once. It was supposed to be a family-owned restaurant here in Cobb County, y'all. And at the minute I walked in, the eyes, if looks could kill, I'd have dropped dead and met my savior that moment, because they looked at me like, who are you? What are you doing in here? And do you know where you are? And it's like, clearly. So I still went up to the counter, even though my soul was like, girl, turn around and get up out of here. I went to the counter. I was like, so I just wanted to get a to-go menu. And they're like, okay. And they gave it to me like, go.
Right.
Here's your to-go menu. And it was like, wow. But if I were to say in this moment, I felt uncomfortable, I'm making it up.
Right.
I'm being overly sensitive. I'm making a mountain out of a molehill.
Mm-hmm.
And we have really that's my, like, in 2024, for us to still act like this is something that is in the past and that is not something that we are dealing with in the present.
Mm-hmm.
That just, that burns my biscuits, as my grandmother would say. It's like, it just aggravates me, because why would we continue to ignore the pain that members of society are feeling?
Right.
And that's just one thing that I don't appreciate. I'll never fight to be somewhere I'm not wanted, ever. And normally I don't. But in that instance, I was like, I ain't finna turn around just yet. I'm finna walk up to the counter and talk to somebody. Finna talk to me. Y'all gonna give me some kind of customer service while I'm in here. I'd love to walk in the bank, get a home loan without having to jump through hoops. I just feel like on any application, if you want us to stop dealing with the race card, on every application, you should not ask race.
No, yeah, for real.
Like, why do you need to know what my race is? When I took the SAT, why did you need to know that I was black?
Why do you need to put me in this category?
It's like, you want to separate me, but you don't want me to notice the separation. We're not blind.
Right.
like we can't
know
see.
Going.
Okay. It's like, all the ones over here, all the twos over here, and the ones and twos look different. We know what that is. Like, we ain't crazy. So that's my opinion. It's just, if we're going to support people who have been victimized by some kind of ism, support all of it. And support all of them, because racism is just as traumatizing as sexism, sexual harassment. All of it is just as traumatizing. And if those kids understood that they were being discriminated against because of their race, imagine what was done to them, that it was so blatant that they understood this is what's happening, and it's happening because of my race. That's something that, you hate when kids go through it, but people have to understand that racism, people, they don't think, oh, that's a cute little 2-year-old, I'm not going to feel that way about them. They're still feeling that way about those black and brown babies, no matter what their ages are. So that's something I think that until it's over, it's not over. Until it's done and eliminated, it's everyone's fight. It's everyone's problem. And we should not, trivialize an experience that someone has had when it comes to any of those isms, especially racism. Any last thoughts on the quick tip?
Yes, I do want to bring up to the surface of how my own people, my being a brown person, I have seen a lot of racism against Black people in my culture and in just in my ethnicity, and I guess being a Latino X. I want to just speak on unity and being on the same field. At the end of the day, when we walk out that door, they see us all the same. You just, quote unquote, you just got a taco in your hand. That's it. Yeah. That's the only thing that makes you different. So, just being Mexican and, having a Black child, I have experienced racism from family members, from people looking at my child and saying, like, well, he got something in him and we know he's different, and it's really sad to say, but there is racism in the Hispanic culture. And I really fight to break that, because I have Black brothers, I have a Black husband, I have a Black son. So, I have my best friend, she's Dominican. When people look at her, they don't see a Dominican girl. They see a girl with kinky hair that's fair, the dark skin. So they separate us. And if we don't have that fair blue eyes and blonde hair, I think that, even in my race, there is a lot of racism within that. And, I feel like that's something that is not really speaked on and not brought up to the surface like that. And that needs to end, because ultimately we all fall under the same category, because we're not, the white people, we're not them. So it's like, at the end of the day, they still treat us the same. So why separate yourself from the minorities when you're a minority?
Right. Absolutely. And the fact that, I think about, when I watch, certain channels, they'll have different commercials talking about, stopping Jewish hate, stopping, oh my gosh, the Asian hate and things of that nature, and all of that. The fact that any group has to have attention brought to the fact that they're being mistreated, I think that's something that we all need to be aware of. Like, we can't just, decide like, okay, well, at least it's not us and it's them this time. It's not a us and a them. Yep. We're all one race of human race. And if one part of the human race is being mistreated, all of the human race should be upset about it. And we should be trying to fight to end that, because for anyone to not feel safe, to not
Mm-hmm.
feel respected, to not feel appreciated simply because of any reason, really, but especially because of your ethnicity, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So I just thank you for sharing that. That is something that I just want us to really think about.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to think about how important it is for us to come together for one another. You know, whether we look the same, worship the same, love the same, we all deserve to feel the same safety when we walk out of our houses. So that's our quick tip. Now, I'm super excited because we're about to do our restaurant shout out. And y'all, we finna do this live. Okay.
Yes.
So I went to a food truck. I love food trucks. I went to a food truck and it is called Two Castillos Mexican Food Truck. And I so hope I said that right. But they have, I got the chicken tacos and we're going to try their chicken tacos. And Cole got the quesadilla. She said, 2 thumbs up. So we're going to try this. So I want y'all to see my taco. Okay. Got some chicken, cilantro, and onion on here. Very, very non-American Mexican food. Okay. Because if we had made this taco, there'd be some cheese, be some lettuce, all kind of stuff. And you be like, that does not go on there.
Right.
Y'all making me hungry. Girl, I'm excited about this taco. You don't understand. So I did get a little bit of this red sauce that they have. And I am just a little bit nervous because it smells a little bit spicy. So I'm gonna put just a little bit. It smells almost like it's kind of smoked too.
Do you not like spicy food?
It depends. I like stuff with a little kick, but I don't want to lose my taste buds in the meantime. I'm kind of on one of those. So I'm gonna try this. We're gonna try this. Do you want any sour cream or anything?
I don't want sausage. I'm good.
She said she do pure Mexican food. Okay. She said I don't need none of your Americanized dressings.
It's like the smell. I know what it tastes like off the smell, so I'm good.
Now I'm even more nervous that she said that. Now, are these corn or flour?
These are corn. So to tell the difference, basically, flour is always going to be a little bit whiter.
Okay.
And then the corn is going to be, like a little yellower.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Y'all ready? We finna try this. Here we go. Okay. And we're going to be honest on the dive bar. It's a little dry.
I'm not a fan.
It's a little dry.
It's very bland. I'm gonna need them to sell me a little bit more sazon or a little bit seasoned. Mm-hmm. This is not the right tortilla to make with this taco because it's already dry.
And I'd like to point out that I was right. It is a little spicy. So I'm gonna cool this off with a little sour cream. But we have to go to a commercial early. Now it's not terrible. I actually like corn tortillas better than flour. Mm-hmm. So it's not that bad.
Have you ever made them? Have you ever had them done by hand?
I think Papacitos does it or Papados. One of those. Is it Papacitos?
It has to be Papacitos. Papacitos is different. Mm-hmm.
Papacitos does it. And I fell in love with theirs. I haven't had it anywhere else though.
Yeah, you should come to my new job. It's Fuse in Marietta, guys, on Franklin Road. Come try it out. They do make their tacos by hand. They're very good. The salsa is amazing as well, and the season, it be seasoning.
Okay. That with a little sour cream, it is a little better.
Okay,
it is a little better. Okay, I get used to it. It won't stop me from trying other things. I'll say that.
Okay, that's good.
I'll go back and try other things. But let's talk about this Fuse. Tell us about. She got a job, y'all.
I do
bartending.
And
she just took the class. Okay, so holla at your girl. I'm just saying, I make rock stars. Okay, talk about this job, ma'am. Talk about it.
So basically it's an up and coming Mexican restaurant and it's a lounge. They just opened up literally today. Today was my first day. Beautiful experience.
I love it.
Beautiful experience. They have amazing food. He is thinking about introducing also Ethiopian food in the restaurant as well. So it's a mix of Mexican, Ethiopian. Like I say, is very authentic. They sell tacos. They even have a breakfast. They open up at 6:30 in the morning. So they have Mexican breakfast. I think that they are introducing brunch as well. on the weekends. Really good vibe, very intimate, kind of private, more of like a lounge type of vibe. There will be hookah too on the weekends, guys.
Come on,
so
hookah.
come through.
Come on, hookah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you leave these people tacos alone. So it's like I said, it's
No,
not
for
bad. It's better with the sour cream.
I feel like this was something that I made on a Tuesday, rushing from home, trying to hurry up and get things together.
And a mercy meal.
And I left some chicken breasts out, so now I gotta hurry up and make a meal to feed my family. This is what I feel like. I'm serious. Because I've made chicken like this before. Like, guys, we just gonna eat it. That's all. We just gonna eat it.
But what you say? It is children starving.
Right.
Eat this chicken.
Right, for real.
Okay, mama, eat this chicken.
Right.
And you say a blessing.
Right.
Yeah, okay, look.
Give thanks to the ancestors because they would have killed for some breast.
Okay? They'd have been like, all we get is gizzards. You better
Right.
take that chicken breast and you better enjoy it.
Right.
It's not terrible. But I must admit, I am hungry. Probably why I'm still eating it.
It's not bad. I just feel like it could have been better, especially from a taco place. Like, that could have been better. And I feel like in Atlanta now, everybody's just bringing up taco trucks, and some of them don't even be Mexican. Think about it. You bring a Mexican truck, and they don't even Mexican. When I was maybe about 23, I got a job at a Mexican place. So I get there and right, a Mexican place. It's actually in Mapleton. So I get there and I'm like, okay, it's Mexican. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I'm Salvadorian. Then his wife comes in, she's like, yeah, I'm Colombian. And I'm like,
where's the Mexican? They say that's you.
That's why we hire you, baby.
They say you are the Mexican part of the Mexican restaurant.
Right.
Okay? You are it. Now,
That's the one.
I think a lot of times when you grow up with something authentic, and then people start, this is our twist. Ain't no twist. Okay, right. There is is it soul food or it's not. Okay, that's why I like Paula Deen. I don't care about what she said about them people that's trying to rob her restaurant. I don't care. Okay, that's why I like Paula. Paula says she's from the South. We use butter. We use lard. Okay, right. We use salt and pepper. We use all of that. Okay.
Right. Hello.
I watched her make what she calls grit pie. She made a bowl of grits this big, y'all, and put a whole stick of butter in that bad boy. She said, "You need butter, ma'am." That was a whole.
My heart just.
My whole artery just.
Right.
They shut down for about 5 seconds, but I was like, I know your cholesterol. Your doctor probably just look at you and be like, no, don't even worry about it. We ain't even gonna test you. We already know.
No.
Okay,
take these pills, baby.
Take these. Okay, take these. And that's what I love about her. She don't try to do healthy fried chicken. She be like, look, we fried in grease. You let it sit there. It's crispy. That's what I like about it. It's soul food. Soul food. Look, y'all can go all the time. I'm supposed to feed your soul.
Make your soul go up like this and come back down.
Soul food make your cholesterol go up. Hello. Okay, that's what it's supposed to do. I can hear my doctor now. Ricky, your cholesterol. I'm telling you. So I understand. Right, I understand. Right. She's Nike said,
And the thing is, it's not even a tortilla. It's the meat. It's the consistency of the meat.
It's a little dry.
It's dry.
But like I said, this won't stop me from trying something else. Because Cole is over here in heaven with this quesadilla. So maybe I just picked the wrong dish. And she ain't even gonna share. Y'all, she ain't right. She ain't. Oh, I'm sorry. It's gone. She can't share. Okay. So clearly she liked it. So like I said, it won't stop me from trying nothing else, but I probably won't get another chicken taco.
Yeah. And that's probably what it is. Cause breast is very dry. So that's probably, it's just the chicken. I'm not a fan.
Nobody likes dry meat. Shut up, whoa. Shut up, whoa. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take our first break. And when we come back, Nike and I are going to make our cocktail, which is special. I've never made this before. It's the La Bruja.
La Bruja.
I feel so just international when I talk to you.
Yes.
Feel like I need a passport. Right. So we're going to make the La Bruja cocktail when we come back. And we're going to talk more with this lovely lady and more about what she does. Put your questions in the comments because we're definitely here to answer them. And we will be right back. It's Dylan's Dive Bar, and we're having a spiritual conversation. Talking, we good. Hey, welcome back. All right, so we are making a la bruja cocktail, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a tequila drink. If you have been watching Dive Bar, you already know I'm a tequila girl. Sure. So I'm excited. I'm always down for some tequila cocktails. It's not a margarita. Don't get me wrong. I love margaritas, but still, there's other things you could do with tequila, and that's what we're gonna do tonight. Mm-hmm. Now, this is Terramana. This is by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And this is the Añejo. And, we talked about that. This is aged. Okay. This is one of our older tequilas. Now, the recipe asks for triple sec. And y'all already know, I already told y'all I'm bougie. So we got Grand Marnier. Okay. We're going to take it up a notch. And it also has watermelon, lime, and jalapeno. So we did ours a little different tonight because I couldn't get my hands on a fresh jalapeno. So we got some pickled jalapeno. Okay, and a little lime. And what we're going to do is we're going to muddle this together so we can release all of our flavors with our lime and jalapeno. Okay, so I have my lime. I'm squishing in the jalapeno. Hopefully this is not overly spicy because that red sauce about took your girl out. Okay, about took your girl out. But I'm excited. So I'm going to let you go ahead and muddle yours.
So I actually used one of these for the first time today, and I used it wrong, apparently. And I just learned that right now.
Girl, I'm always teaching.
Right.
I'm always your teacher.
And
I'm
it was so crazy because I was going to text you, like, Randy, what do I do with this?
And y'all, I get that all the time. And what I hear all the time is, I hear you in my head. That's not 1 o'clock. That's not 1 o'clock. And I'm like, so get it at 1 o'clock. Because if you hear me saying it, that means your ass is at 1 o'clock.
Not at 1 o'clock.
And if you are a bartender, you know what that means. You took my class, you definitely know what that means. Because I tell it to them all the time. It ain't at 1 o'clock. All right. So we have muddled our jalapeno and our lime. Got all the juices out. So now we're going to add in our tequila. Okay. Here you go, ma'am.
How much is that for?
This is that's your business. That ain't 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Don't be losing what I teach you now. All right. Now I'm gonna add in just a little sweetened lime juice. You're gonna sweeten this up just a little bit because I don't know if you don't want to, you don't have to, but I'm gonna sweeten my All right. So I'm gonna add in my ice. All right, you can add in yours. I'm going to add in my watermelon juice. So I'm not a really big fan of watermelon.
What?
Yeah, most people be trying to take my black card for it, but it's just, it don't do it for me. I done tried it. I done tried it with the sugar, the salt, the tahini, the whatever. Put it. I don't like it. I don't like watermelon, scented, flavored, nothing.
Really?
Not at all. So we just gonna okay. Now I'm going to do what we call a float of our Grand Marnier, just right on top because I do get down with Grand Marnier. It's orange flavored liqueur. It's also a cognac, which means it is made in Cognac, France. Water for the win. I don't like yellow, red, pink, whatever you want to call it. I don't like none of them. Not the one that come in the summertime, the springtime, the wintertime. I don't like none of it. Okay. So I'm doing this strictly for my guests. Okay. The only cocktail I turned down was a dirty martini because I refuse.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink that.
I simply refuse. And I gave her all the ingredients at the end. You take that home with you.
Right.
Okay. That's from the dive bar. That's for you.
Right.
Okay. Here we go. We have our La Bruja cocktail. Here we go. Cheers to you being on the dive bar.
Thank you.
Very excited.
It's so cute.
It smells good.
Okay, but this is actually good.
Okay. I don't hate it. I'll be honest. Y'all saw how much watermelon I put in there though. So what I'm really tasting is tequila, lime, little jalapeno, and Grand Marnier.
I feel like the jalapeno blends really good in it though.
It does. And it's probably because it is the pickled and not the fresh.
Mm-hmm. It's not that bad.
A splash. Now, is this your first time ever having it?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. Okay.
I wanted to put something that I've never tried either, so it could get an experience.
And it is that. It's good though. Just making up drinks. Hey. When she put it in her thing, I was like, I'm finna go look that up.
And not me Googling it.
Girl, I Google. Google. Help your girl out.
There has to be a drink that's named after me. There just has to be.
It's one of those things where it's like, I know somebody has come up with this. I can't be the only one that thinks there should be a drink for this. Somebody has this out there. I tell my students all the time, people come up with recipes all the time. You'll start coming up with recipes. There's someone right now creating a recipe. Okay. So just to have your phone with you. So when they come up to you, tell me, oh my God, I was on a cruise and they gave me, you looking at, I'm not on the cruise.
Right.
We sitting in the middle of the city. What you want? Okay.
It'd be something so simple.
And it just had pineapple, and I don't know what that was. Pineapple juice is what that was.
Just pineapple juice.
And then it had like some like it was kind of like rum, but I don't know if it was rum. And you go look at the recipe, it was rum and pineapple juice.
Literally just
okay. And you want some lime on there? What you want a piece of fruit? It'd be the simplest things.
Right.
So you will see that when you start bartending, and you be them like y'all, it's nothing special. It was just so good.
Right.
Was it good? Oh, whatever. Look at the menu. Okay. What do you want? So let's talk more about don't judge the not whatever. Don't come up there thinking you being creative. So I just, I would like to shut up. Hush.
Right.
Hush. What do you do? I want something sweet. Juice. Do you want some juice? Okay.
With a hint of alcohol.
Right. You want to splash alcohol with your juice, okay? Just go ahead and get your little cup of mouthwash or something. Go on from well. All right. Sitting up here paying $13 for ice and juice with a splash of alcohol on top.
And a garnish.
I just really like lime. Get out. Get out. Okay. Get off of my bar. Get away from my bar. So you're gonna have a lot of fun with that one. So I always laugh at people when they sit at the bar. I'll just have a water. You'll just get up.
Right. Because why are you here?
Go home. Okay. There is nothing, whatever. I'm rude as hell. There is nothing special about my water that you got to sit at my bar and get my water instead of being in your house and drink your water.
The most I can do is add some lemon. That's it.
And a straw. Like, what are you looking? Get out. Okay. I did not go to bartender school to make you water with lemon. Get out.
Right. I did not get dressed, put my makeup on for you to come over here and order a freaking water with lemon.
Can I get a Coke? Get out.
Right.
Get out and stop sitting at my bar, taking up space. Okay. There's nothing creative about me putting Coke in a cup.
No,
not at all. So let's talk more about what you do. Talk to us about your journey in discovering your gift. How did you discover your gift?
So I basically discovered my gift. So my story is kind of different from a lot of people who have discovered their gift. So my religion brought me to my gift. They did tell me I had a gift and that I should use it to kind of make money and basically keep myself up. Well, I didn't know that I was going to go through certain things. So when I first found out I had my gift, I went homeless and I had a 2-year-old with me. So I couldn't work because who's going to watch my child? I really don't have a lot of family out here. So it was one of those situations where like my kid got to stay with me or they got to go somewhere. So I went homeless and like I told you, my religion told me like, hey, you have these gifts, use them. So one day I was just really distraught. I was really just kind of struggling. I was crying and everything. And then a spirit started talking to me. They was like, no, you go live right now on Facebook. And I was like, okay.
That was your answer?
What do you mean? So before then I was doing readings on other people, as friends. And I remember one specific friend, I was talking to her baby and she never told no one. She didn't even tell me. Like, she never told no one that she had a miscarriage because it was so traumatizing for her.
My goodness.
So I started talking to her. She was like, how do you know that? And I was like, I don't know. I just heard it. Like, it was like, wow. I was so naive to it back then. So like, I was like, I don't know. I just heard it. Like, they told me to say it, so I did. And then, like I said, I heard that voice again.
Grapevine.
Right.
It's a hell of a grapevine.
So they told me again, like that, I heard that voice again, was like, go live. You need some money? Shit, hell, why not? You had nothing to lose. Started going live. And it was just like, boom, back to back clients. I was getting client after client. Everything I was telling them was right. I was telling them things that nobody ever knew. I was giving them messages from spirits that they had, lost a long time ago, things that they needed to hear. So from that going live, that one time, I just started generating more clients. I started getting more comfortable being in front of the camera. And then I sat back one day and I realized, I'm really doing this. Like, I was really forced to do this because ultimately it was survival mode. I was raised in like the projects, kind of a hood type thing. So I was always a hustler. It's really funny because I used to actually be like not who I am today. Like, I was like a booster. I was like doing all types of things. So when I started turning over a new leaf and started doing better, it's so crazy because I started going through so much more. Once I started saying like, no, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to help people. I'm going to use my gifts for good.
Yeah.
So basically I started realizing like, hey, like these cards are talking to you. They're telling you things. You're healing these people. So 4 years ago, me being homeless, me losing everything literally changed my life for the better. Pandemic hit, I did absolutely great. I put my name out there some more. I got more clientele. I actually went on tour last year. It wasn't that many cities, but I did go on tour where I went to different cities and clients came to see me and to get cleanses and get spiritual work done with me. So I'm very thankful for that. Like I said, I've been a spiritual person since I was a little girl. When I was little, I didn't realize what it was till I was older. So I have an uncle that passed away. And I was like maybe a year old when he passed. And I was in Mexico, and that's where I'm from. So I was in Mexico, and then he was on the way to a trip and he passed away. Literally like maybe like the next month. No, like maybe like a year later, I came to the States. And I would see him in my grandmother's house, but I didn't know who this man was. So like, I would get scared because I'm like, who's this man that's like just in the bathroom with me and walking down the street? Yeah, because he would come in the bathroom and I'd be like, who is this man? Like, why is this man here? Exactly. Like, excuse me, sir. So every time I would call my grandma, my mom, I'd be like, you don't see the man? They would be like, no, like, what are you talking about? Like, they were almost thought like I was joking. Until one day, my grandma was on the couch, just like us. She had a picture of my uncle, and she was like, yeah, this is my son that died, to the lady. And my little brain at 3 years old was like, died? What the fuck that mean? You know? And then
so when you say died,
right? So
where are we going with that?
Right. So I'll tell her, I was like, Grandma, that's the man. My grandma, like, I could still remember her face to this day. Like her face went pale. She was like, how are you seeing him? And if he's dead? And in my brain, like I said, I don't know what that means. I went to go play with my toys. So I was like, fuck it. But when I got older and when I turned about 22, because that's when I was told, what I can do and everything. Once I turned 22, everything made sense. I would have visions. as a little girl. I would actually have visions of me going live and me being in the camera, and I didn't know back then. Like I would have like these and it's okay because it would only happen when I was very traumatized. Like when things, because I had a very traumatizing childhood. So when I would go through certain things, I didn't understand that this was spirits telling me like, look, you're gonna be good. This is gonna build you for the future. You know, this is gonna take you to where you're supposed to go.
Wow.
So I used to have this vision. I always think about it. It used to be like cameras. Like I used to see cameras and me kind of being on the red carpet, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be famous. Like, what am I gonna be famous for? Honey. right. I didn't realize, and I actually maybe like 2 years ago, I realized this wasn't me being cameras as me being famous, but people seeing me and seeing me online, seeing me live, being connected with me through, you know, different people and through social media, you know, through the phone. And I was like, wow, like, you know, I didn't know my purpose back then. And then like now to live my full purpose, I am so blessed to be able to even be here. And just because even before then, I was very suicidal. And I didn't understand why. And I feel like it was because I was being pulled to talk to spirits. So it was like I didn't want to be here because I felt more comfortable just not being here. But I didn't understand like, hey, it's because you have a connection with spirit. So instead of you not wanting to be here, it's really them trying to get your attention in a way and talk to you like, hey, you're on both fields. Like you can be in the physical world and the spiritual world. So that's why I said, like, you know, my story is a little different. I had to go through a lot and I had to struggle to be able to be strong and show that I'm blessed and I'm anointed and I'm quote unquote a chosen one, because everything I went through put me in this position to even do something like this, you know? So I'm very grateful.
Wow. So your own traumas, is that what led you to have one of your avenues be to heal traumas for other people?
Yes. And because of my family and the things I've been through with my family, and just knowing that, you know, it's deeper than we think. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that we go through is because it's just been going through the generations, you know, like for example, my grandfather, he didn't have both his parents. When his mom died and his dad died shortly after. Me growing up, I really didn't have guidance. My mom was only 15. So she wasn't trying to be my friend, but she was a child raising a child. My dad wasn't around. So like I realized that those generational curses could have happened way before even my grandfather. So it was like, it took for me to heal them. So once I realized that I had that potential, I made that my purpose to help everyone else, because you know, it could be something as simple as that's holding back, you know, the next generation from gaining the generational wealth, from gaining, you know, generational healing and loving and unity. Especially nowadays, I feel like the families nowadays is okay with not fucking with each other, and I don't think that is okay. Like, ooh,
girl,
I have cousins I don't even talk to, and that's not okay.
You stop telling people business on this live. Oh my goodness. And that's so true. And I think we seen the pattern, because it's funny how social media will start to kind of highlight what's going on. You know, you start seeing these memes where they talk about how people don't want to talk until a funeral and that kind of thing. And it's a real situation where families do not come together. And you have, like, I tell people all the time, my family, the, you know, parents, siblings, we are a branch all by ourselves. We don't talk to none of the other branches, you know, in the family tree. And it's not even because we don't like them. We didn't grow up with them. We grew up in our own little bubble. So it's like we didn't have that whole extended family thing. And, you know, I'll see the memes where they'd be like, your cousins were your first friends. Actually, my siblings were. And then it was my actual friends. Like,
my cousins taught me what not to choose for friends.
Okay.
Friends not to choose.
I'll be looking at some cousins and be like, and that's why we don't go to family reunions. We just can't have nice things. So, you know, and it's like those memes come up because there are so many families hurting, you know, and, you know, they lose the older generation. And that was the generation that was bringing people together. You know, the siblings who branched out and had kids, because I can remember always hearing my grandmother and her sister on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to talk and laugh in a way that I was like, if me and my friend don't laugh and talk like this, then we ain't friends, because they just had such a bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I always saw everyone on my great aunt's, side of the family, because she and my grandmother were so close, and they were close to their brothers. So we all saw each other. But once they passed away, it was kind of like, I mean, I know they're here, but we don't really see each other. And to have, a way to heal that, a way to bring people back together, because I'm sure if our elders were here, they would be very disappointed to see how the family has just broken down. That family unit is no longer there. We have little mini units, but we don't have the units of the family. So that's something I think would be.
And it's so funny that you bring that up, that the elders, because I have had where people's ancestors are like, hey, you need to talk to your cousin. Like, you need to talk to my daughter. You need to talk to these family members to keep that unity close, because this is how you're going to heal losing me. This is how you're going to heal not feeling love. This is how you're going to heal being abandoned, So a lot of the ancestors are upset because they fought so hard for y'all to be united, and now it's like you're falling out because it's a simple disagreement and not understanding like these are just who people are and what life has made them to be. So that's why I really focus on healing generational trauma, because it is something that if we don't stop now, it's going to be way worse in the future. Like way worse. Like you can only, like you said, my family's the same way. I only talk to my brothers and sisters, and I keep them so close because of the fact that we're not going to be like that. I refuse, no matter where our disagreements are, no matter what life we choose, because my brothers, my brothers and sisters, they believe in stuff like this, but they're not like, oh my God, yes. Like, like, no, they're not like that. They respect what I do, but they're not like, my brothers, they get readings from me and stuff like that, but they're not like full-fledged, like this is how I'm living my life. So it's like we respect how each other, we live our life and how we choose to live our life. And I feel like that's what has stopped me from even just trying to judge them from how they live their lives and other people. And I just want to share something that someone shared with me. It's not about the family that you come from, but the one that you create and the one that you move forward with, and not carrying those things that your old family, the old generation has done within the next generations to come.
Absolutely. Family is a relative term. I think a lot of people think it's only blood, but it's not. So let's talk about some of the comments we have. All right. Family secrets are tearing families apart. And they are. And I think a lot, that whole, what happens in this house stays in this house. That is so just detrimental and anti-productive, because sometimes those secrets are killing people. When you find out those family secrets, you actually get to the root of some people's addiction, some people's depression, things like that. And it's like, until those things are addressed, until we talk about those things, we cannot have that kind of healing. And I've seen more and more, celebrities talk about childhood traumas. There is a particular gospel artist, Kalante Gavin. I love to hear him sing. He talked about how he was sexually abused from, I believe, 5 until 13. And his parent, he told his parents, they believed him, but nothing really happened to his abuser. And he was like, it was a family member, it was a cousin. And he said, what do you do when the abuser is close? When they're at the family reunion, they wearing the same t-shirt you wearing, and y'all going to the line and the buffet, and like, how do you handle that? He was like, there was no quote unquote justice for him. He didn't go to jail. And it's like, it's one thing to even, tell what happened. They believe you, but then nothing happens. So at that point, what message are you sending to the person who was abused, who was victimized? And now they're struggling with so many, because he struggles with so many other things from that. And I think that's just one of those things where it's like, we have these things going on in our families. We have to address them. We have to talk about them. That has to happen. Okay, we have a question from Whoa. What were your teenage years like? I heard you mention being suicidal. Did you have spiritual episodes during your teen years?
Yes. So I always remember that I was the girl that everybody got advice from. Okay. Like, literally, like, people would come, they'd be like, oh my God, you have to talk to Anayka because she has like really good advice. And I'll be like, oh my God, yes. It was like, of like, she's so real and this and that. So I would have like those things. I would just know things. Like I would be like, yeah, your boyfriend's definitely cheating on you, or like, hey girl, like,
how many times did you say that in a week in high school? Girl, he definitely.
It's so funny because me being suicidal, I would attract a lot of damaged people. Like, so I was suicidal, but I was also grateful for my life in between. So like I would have like, I went through a lot of abuse when I was younger and stuff in my teenage and my childhood. A lot of people will come to me that were also abused, and they would like feel comfortable telling me. Like I had so many friends that would come out to me like as their sexuality, and I would push them to tell like their family members. Like I could name a whole list of people, like literally that I would like, I don't know, I would empower people, and I didn't realize like what my gifts were. I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I would see things a lot and I would be scared, and I'd be like, I didn't see that just now.
Right, like, no.
Right.
You can't unsee it.
When I tried to commit suicide, I was about 21 years old, 21, 22. I feel like if I did not do that, if I did not try to do that, I would not realize how important my life was and what my gifts were and what my true purpose was here. When I went, because I had to end up going to like a facility. I was talking to a lot of the girls, and I would make them feel so much better about themselves. And I'm like, but I'm over here dying inside.
Like in the same institution. I need you to understand that.
So back then I didn't understand that, I was really sharing my gifts with them, and then now it's like, oh my God, like I was saving people that I didn't even know I was saving people, So it was like, mostly spiritual things that would happen would be like I said, I would see certain things. I would see like shadows. I would see, like, when I mean shadows, guys, they're not really bad things, but like in my interpretation of like things moving around, I would feel things before they happen. I would tell my mom like, hey, look, I don't think you should go out today. I don't think that you should do certain things because I feel like something's going to happen. She didn't really listen to me. Something would happen. Like I would, no shade, but I would call out like my mom was going in a really bad relationship. I'd be like, yeah, mom, he's doing something. You need to figure that out. Like, what he's doing, because I don't know what it is, but there's something going on with this person. They're not right. Like I said, being suicidal, I feel like a lot of me being suicidal too was me absorbing a lot of people's energy, and not understanding that I was absorbing these people's depression. I was absorbing, them being sad and things that they were going through. A lot of the energies that I carried were not mine.
Right.
Once I realized they were not mine, I was learning to release them and realize like, okay, this is what we're processing, help them process it, and then that's it.
So would you say that there was a time where it wasn't like you were absorbing their energy, so you were on your healing journey, but because they were at the beginning of theirs, their trauma seemed more fresh, more prominent, so it tend to latch
onto you.
Yeah,
or like a lot of things too, where it would be like we would have like those trauma bonds, and it would be more for me because not only am I carrying my stuff, but I'm carrying your stuff, so like, I don't know, a lot of people, you'll go in a room and you'll feel very drained. It's because you're absorbing that energy from other people. You go home and you just ate a whole bucket of ice cream and depressed, and then you realize like, hey, I was around this person and they're depressed, so here I am carrying their energy. And a lot of us, we don't know that we're doing it, but we are accepting in energy. That's why when people come into a store, I don't say welcome. I'll say, hey, how are you?
Because they ain't no telling who you talking to when you say welcome.
Because you're welcome them into your energy. So you guys, if you are, picking up on that energy, just always remember to say, I release their energy and I bring back my energy, because, you have to practice that art of detachment.
Yes. Okay. So I got Woe saying that's real. Energy is never dissolved. It's just transferred. So you taking on their negative energy becomes yours.
Yeah.
So what is a good way? Like, there are people who may not have your specific gift, but they are empaths. And as an empath, you tend to take on what other people are feeling, especially when you try to be empathetic and you try to have compassion for them. And it's like you want them to feel better. You end up absorbing their, their energy. What are some recommendations you have for, even if they don't have your specific gift, but even just being empathic?
Okay, this might be a little mean, but y'all, when I tell you it works and it's only protect you, stop being so empathetic, because some people are just stuck in that cycle and they're okay with being in that cycle, and you have to learn how to identify whether if it's worth your time or it's not, because that's when those, I like to call them energy leeches, where they attach themselves to you, or these people have certain energy leeches on them and they attach themselves to you, and now they're a piece of you, and it's hell to get them off of you. So it's like, stop being so empathetic. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between being a healing and a lover and just doing anything, being
a dumpster where people just dump their stuff
just dump their stuff. Learning how to protect your energy, like I was also saying, where you say your energy is your energy, my energy is my energy, being able to separate that energy. And just because you feel bad for someone does not mean you have to be stupid for them, and that's with anything, with sometimes you might see a person and they just constantly dumping their issues off on you. You have to know your value. You are becoming that energy. It's like, okay, when they say, if you want to be a millionaire, hang around millionaires, don't allow that energy. And yes, if you feel like, okay, I have to help them, I'm going to help them. But there's also people that don't want help. They're okay with their misery. So, you just have to learn how to kind of identify, like, hey, this person really needs help. Or Sandra been getting drunk every 2 weeks and doing all this and that, and she don't want no better. She want attention.
Lord,
yeah, because I have had where I've had to tell clients, like, look, I can't deal with you and your stuff. You're not learning. Every time we do these readings, same thing. There's no growth, because when you do a reading, it's a story. If your story is the same from last time, there's no growth. There's no healing. There's no, you better be a better person. Sometimes it's because these people don't know how to, like you said, the trauma and stuff. So it is going to take a little bit more. You will know the difference because they will still try to understand. But then there's those people where you're like, girl, you're not supposed to be dealing with him. They're like, no, I just love him so much. Cut her off. Because
your sessions have come to an end.
Right. Because, you just, at this point, what are we doing?
Right.
There's no purpose here. You're just pulling from me, and my energy is very, very golden. My energy is very high. It's a privilege to be in my presence. Yes. So it's like, we can't match this energy. Come on, baby. You either got to move on. It's okay. Stay with him, but let's not do this. Let's not backtrack. So it's like separating yourself from that. And like I said, there is practices where, like I said, where, you keep your energy in and you release theirs, cleansing yourself, praying when you shower, doing those things.
Back up. Praying when you shower. What is special about the shower?
Because you're cleansing.
Yes.
You're cleansing yourself. So what are you doing? You're washing yourself. So now you're going to wash yourself of your sins. So you're going to wash these energies off. That's why, like, you guys, if you have a long day and, the best thing that you look forward to is that fucking shower.
Yes.
Because you're washing off those energies as well. So praying while you're in the shower, talking, setting intentions, setting affirmations of positivity, of high vibration, so you can get those energies up off you. If you are constantly depressed, if you're constantly drained, if you feel like your heads are in the clouds, if you're crying on a Tuesday in the milk aisle for no reason.
I'm just so depressed. 1%. That's what I feel like. I'm on 1%. Baby, I need you to get on, get in the shower.
Right.
Get in the shower and get to talking to Jesus. Somebody.
Regrouping, meditating. Real quick, I do want to share a message with someone real quick. So a spirit is talking to me and saying that a lot of y'all aren't speaking your truths. You're holding a lot of things in. That's why I started coughing a little bit. So there's specifically a grandmother coming through. I want to say she passed away because she was sick. She's showing me a vision of like you holding their hand and talking to her as she passed, or like maybe just like saying like, you know, I wish I was there. But she's showing me you holding the hand, and she's like, baby, you got to start speaking the truth, letting your voice be heard. You're holding on to a lot of things. You're holding on to a lot of trauma that you need to speak on. Also being careful what you speak on yourself. They said that you could be very doubtful. Someone either just had a baby, or they're like, they brought someone into the world or brought something new. They're like, they're so proud of you. You're doing so well, even though, you know, you might question yourself. You know, they want you to know that your voice is much bigger than you think it is, and that you're doing such a great job as a parent. They want you to know they were actually there when the baby was delivered. So if anything happened, or if you felt a presence, that was that spirit there. This woman was a very spiritual woman. She wants you to know that she loves you. Something about like jewelry, hats, and like shoes, maybe like a church going lady, very much loves you. I would say work on this throat chakra, because like I said, it could be two different things. You're saying a lot of negative things about yourself. You're either very doubtful, or you're saying things that you do not mean, or you're not speaking your truth and speaking from within. So yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I got goosebumps. And she's not talking to me, but I got whoever she's talking to. Be free, my child.
Yes.
Wow. And y'all just got that, like, that's what she did to us in the class. She was like, a spirit's talking to me, and we were just like, we were all like meerkats. We were like, what? What they say? Like, oh wow. So if she was talking to you, and I think that speaking our truth is something that so many of us don't do. I think we don't speak our truth because we are afraid it won't be received well. We are afraid that the person we're speaking to won't care about the truth like we care about that truth. And we are afraid of rejection. We are afraid of someone making fun of us, because being vulnerable is not easy. And I think a lot of people, they're scared of vulnerability. Like, that's such a huge word for a lot of people, because the act of being vulnerable is almost just opening yourself up and allowing the possibility of a new wound. And a lot of people are scared of that. And I think that's something that we all need to work on. But if she was just talking to you, I hope that whatever you heard, that touched your heart, because it touched mine.
Hit me up and let me know, just so that way I can know that, you know, hey, that you got the message, you understood. I do want to share something off that as well too. When basically this person has also like throat issues or issues within their like mouth. So when you do have trauma in a certain chakra, it can manifest into a health issue. So if you have like a lot of sexual trauma, you can have a lot of cramps, or like a heavy blood flow, or, you know, have trouble having kids. Or if you have like a lot of headaches, your third eye isn't aligned. You know, if you have back issues, you know, it could be your root chakra as well. So definitely making sure you're taking care of these chakras and stuff like that. Yeah, because they can cause health issues. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Woo! We are here on the dive bar with Miss Anayka, and she is giving us such good energy. I'm loving this, and I'm excited to get home and take this good shower. I don't know about y'all, but that just really made me excited about washing the day off. Right. Like, I think that's cool, and maybe why some people can't sleep, because you're not getting rid of that energy. And I'm excited about this spiritual shower. Yes. It's going to be a spiritual moment. All right. So we're going to go on break. We will be right back. Dylan's Dive Bar, having a spiritual conversation with Miss Anayka, and we will be right back. way, guys, for you who don't know, this is the man behind the magic. This is our producer, our fearless leader, Mr. Dwayne Sutton, aka Whoa. What's going on, sir? We can't hear you.
Wait a minute. I'm rigging myself.
There you
But no, it's a pleasure being here. Definitely enjoying the show. Real quick before we go any further, I just wonder if I can just take a little second to just everybody tuning in. I want to make sure y'all get ready. May 4th is going down. May the 4th be with you for real.
Yes.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Hub City Sneaker Ball has invited I Am One Podcast to be the media outlet for their show. So all information is on the I Am One Podcast page and will be on the I Am One Media Group page as well on Facebook. Go get your tickets.
Yes.
We're going to be there. We're going to show up. We're going to show out. It's for a great cause. We're going to be goddamn clean as a whistle. You feel me?
Because the dress
clean up in that, man.
honey.
I'm talking about big stepping.
Yes. I'm excited. So Dylan's Dive Bar.
And before we know it, it's gonna be turned over. Dylan's Dive Bar gonna be repping.
Yes, we're gonna be in the building. Already got the green ready. Okay, we finna start on accessories. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a situation.
Most definitely. Listen, I Am One Podcast, I Am One Media Group will follow through. We're gonna have some other familiar faces that y'all have seen. Please mark your calendars. May 4th is going down. Hub City Sneaker Ball. Show up, show out, have your nice gowns, your tuxes, your suits, had a kicks fly ready. We up and out. Appreciate y'all.
Exactly. Now, well, before you go, do you have a question?
Oh no, I asked my question. I'm listening. This is amazing.
I'm telling you, it's serious. It's serious. I'm loving it.
This is definitely amazing. Blessings though. Y'all definitely got me with this one.
I ain't really tell y'all. I ain't really tell Whoa. I was like, I want this to be a surprise. Like, because girl, you shocked us. Yes, you shocked us in class when you said it. It was just like, ooh. You could tell everybody was like, we want to talk. Ooh. Can we go on break right quick? We want to talk right quick. So
and I just want to encourage all the Christians who are watching, please do not dismiss spirituality as a part of, because they do talk about stones and chakras, all of that in the Bible, like for real. Spirituality is real. Get aligned.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of your other practices, some of your other things that you do. Reiki.
Yes.
Talk to us about what that is.
So Reiki is basically a form of energy healing. It focuses on the 7 chakras in your body. And if you don't know what chakras are, it's basically the energy points that you have in your body. And you do have 7. A lot of people don't know this. You have 3, 2 in the back. Those connect you to the spiritual world. Those connect you to the spiritual world.
Okay, so where would they be?
There are right here, and right here. Wow. That's why you get chills. You feel it in your back.
See, y'all learning.
That's why too. You ever feel like, you have somebody standing behind you that you can feel them like that? You have the eyes in the back of your head. That's the chakras back there. Yeah.
This is why we talk to people, because that makes so much sense now.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense now.
So I am also a yoni practitioner, and yoni, basically a lot of people know yoni, and so yoni is basically like your wound, your vagina area and stuff. So I do steams and stuff like that, and I try to help women, because it's mostly for women. Men can do it, but it's something different. Same kind of practice, it's just a little bit different. But I like to focus on, and my slogan is "Make Womb for Healing." So it's focusing on women who basically are always busy, entrepreneur women, having self-care, having a time for yourself, and just kind of relaxing, and also healing sexual trauma, abuse, whether it's mentally, physically, whatever, because a lot of people don't know that's where we, as women, where we store our trauma. It's in our uterus. Yes.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I ask this question, all seriousness aside, when women have hysterectomies, if that was where trauma was stored, is the trauma still there?
It can be because of that chakra.
Okay.
But most of the time, that's why if you ever see a woman that has hysterectomies, she's very emotional afterwards because she is detaching from her wound, has had so much abuse, and just kind of like the trauma being stored there and stuff. There's also why too, when women have babies, they have to kind of stay inside and not really be around too many energies because they can pick that energy up because it's open. Your wound is still open. It's open for a year still, so it's very fragile, and you can pick up those energies. Mm-hmm.
Shut your mouth. And see, we be talking about 6 weeks and going on back out
3
into
months.
the world. 3 months. Okay, we
Right.
just rush everything. We got to stop rushing everything. And see, some people feel like because if it's in the summertime, then you're okay because it's not cold outside and you can go out a little faster. And nope, 3 months.
3 months, yeah, because it's like it's basically like when you cut yourself. You're not going to leave that wound open to catch infections and bacteria. You're going to cover it up. You're going to protect it. You're going to clean it. You're going to, caress it. Whatever you have to do to make it feel better, you're going to do it. Not just throw yourself out here. Same thing with your wound. Your wound. It's a wound that is open. It is something that was cut, or it's completely open. So you're absorbing that energy, and it's also where some of us store like our psychic abilities and our intuitions and stuff as well. So that's why too, like,
is that why it's called women's intuition?
Mm-hmm. Because like, have you ever? Well, this is for women. Have you ever been pregnant and had like these crazy dreams, or like had a period and then you have like these crazy dreams that's answering certain things? It's because of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I heard something online. And I just want to know if it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that if you ever have a dream about an animal and it bites you, that it means there's someone in your life that's doing you dirty. Is that true?
It depends on the animal, one, and it depends on how you feel in that dream. Okay. So if you feel threatened, if you feel like attacked, someone's doing something to you.
So what if you're not feeling attacked, but an animal bite you, or a play? It's like a play. You know how we've got like puppies or kittens, and they bite. Is that like, because they were saying all animals, any animal bites you, then someone is doing you dirty. It means that someone is backbiting.
That's what I say. It depends on the animal and how you feel, because it also could just be a warning of something about to happen. Like for example, like let's say that you have a dream of like a bird coming to bite you. That could be your ancestor trying to get your attention. Now if you have a dog coming to bite you, somebody's definitely doing something to you, but it's just depending on how the animal and how you see that animal. Does that make sense?
So different animals mean different things.
And also it's based off you. So like let's say like you're terrified of dogs. If a dog's attacking you, something is going on. You know what I'm saying? If you're like okay with birds and that birds are a symbol to you, you know what I'm saying, then they're just trying to get your attention to prevent something. So I feel like it's one of those things
how you relate to the
animal, and also the that's what I was telling you with the translation and the language that you have with your spirits and your higher self and stuff.
Now, is there a time where we who don't necessarily possess the same gifts that you do, that we have spirits talking to us, ones that are close to us? Because you have you're just open, and I mean that in the best way possible, but you're open to
wide open.
You're just wide open. But like spirits that we know that we're close. Is there a way that they communicate with us?
Color. So let's say you're like my grandmother, she liked pink a lot. So if I see something pink and I just sit there and think about it, like I'll be like, okay, then she's talking to me. Because my spirits myself, they don't talk to me. Like I'll hear them from once in a while, but they talk to me through symbols more. So like numbers, if you're constantly seeing a number, dreams, like I said, animals, flowers, I was talking about this in one of your class, and it's so crazy because when we're on the way, I was thinking about that. I don't know if you had caught it, but taste. Smell, you could taste your grandma's pumpkin pie and then be like, this is my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? You could smell her perfume. That's how they're talking to you.
Wow.
So yeah, there is different ways you can. And I do want to say everybody has a psychic ability. Everyone, no matter who they are, no matter what they represent, no matter what it's called, technically it's a heightened it's a heightened sensory. So basically, like everybody has one, you just have to figure out what's yours. You know, mine's is being a medium. I could talk to spirits. I'm an empath. I'm a psychic medium. So being a medium is different from being a psychic medium.
Okay.
So, you know, everybody has a gift. Everybody has intuition. It's just where you're at with it.
Wow. Okay, so psychic medium and medium, what's the difference?
So the difference is mediums can just translate. Can just hear what spirit is telling them. And that's basically it. They could just hear it. A psychic medium is someone who can tell the future and predict certain outcomes and also translate and hear them.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, there are so many different representations of, you know, people with your ability and your gift in the media or in, you know, TV and movies. Is there one that you've seen where you're like, they're pretty freaking close to what you do? Or do you feel like it's all just sensationalized?
You know, the Teresa, what's her name? The Long Island medium?
Caputo or something like that?
Completely what we do. Very much so what we do. Yes. She is accurate. I'm getting chills because that's how I find out that I was a real medium, because I would watch the show and I'd be like, okay, come on, let's turn it on. And I'd be like, let's do it. I'm going to answer before she does. Every time I would get it because I would know, because she would have the playing field open so that way I could hear too.
Now, how could she do that through the TV?
Okay, so how can I explain it? There is a physical world and there's a spiritual world. When you ever looked at someone and they know that you see them, they're on the same energy and wave as you are. So it's like they have a strong intuition as well. It's so crazy because that happened to me earlier. I was staring at a boy and he turned around and looked me dead in my face. And I was like, oh my God, wait, no, I was just looking at you. I promise.
Like, sorry.
But he could feel me look at him. So it's like we're on the same energy plane.
Girl, I just keep constant goosebumps with this one over here. So when you see shows like Medium or Ghost Whisperer, things like that, are you like cringing? Like what the?
No, I'm very excited.
Really?
Yes. Like I said, I love what I do. So it's like ever since it's so crazy because my favorite. You ever seen that the Eye with Jessica Alba?
Yes,
it's my favorite movie.
Really?
Ever before, like, because the little girl, since the first time it came out, I had it on DVD. I had 3 copies of it. Yes,
it kind of creeped me out a little bit.
I would faithfully watch that movie. But do you remember the storyline?
Yeah, and her seeing the people and her not knowing, and it wasn't her eye. So she ended up with abilities because of the eye that she received in a transplant.
Yes. So do you know why they killed the girl?
No, I don't know.
Because she was a psychic and they were calling her a witch.
Now let's talk about that. Because our culture, the United States in general, we have been a culture that has definitely believed in witches being a symbol of evil. And whenever someone says they're a witch, we are the burning at the stake kind of situation. So, I mean, I feel like if we really understood, you know, who they are, what they're doing, I feel like the way that we treated them is the reason our country is just so messed up. You can't just be burning people alive, especially people who are connected, and that's a connection in a whole another way.
You can't kill energy.
United States, get it together.
Hello.
So what the culture of witches, the fascination of witches, because at one point we had so many shows about witches, vampires, psychics, you know, the slayers, all of that, because the supernatural became so fascinating. And I think people were starting to understand that it's not evil, but we just don't understand it. And I think these shows were trying to provide a way to kind of open our eyes or get us to maybe do some research and maybe open our minds to what it really is. Can you talk about that phenomenon? How has that fascination affected you with your gift and what you do?
I feel like there's a good and a bad part of it. I feel like we're just going to run through the bad part. A lot of people have a misconception of, if I do this little spell, I'm going to get some money. Or if I do this, he's going to come back to me. Or if you do me wrong, I'm going to do something to you. That's not what this is about.
Right.
This is about healing and growing and being able to manipulate energy. And, you know, I feel like right now we're at the era where everybody thinks they're right and you're all wrong as hell.
Who you thought?
Right. And it's not just about being wrong, because it's not a right or wrong. And I say that you're wrong as hell because your spirituality and your path is your path.
Yeah.
And nobody can dictate what's for you, what's not for you. I feel like right now, a lot of people are getting hurt and are getting into things they know nothing about. And there was a reason why it was a secret. Because sometimes things are better as secrets than where the whole world knows, because now we're doing shit just to do shit. You know? So I feel like, honestly, and I'm going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, I used to miss everything being a secret. Because like with my religion, I see people doing like rituals and ceremonies, and those things are private. You don't share those with the people. You know what I'm saying? You don't share your practices with people. You don't see people, you know what I'm saying, like telling you like, oh, this is the Bible scriptures I read to do this and that. Like, you know, even in Christian, you know, say they don't tell you how they prophesy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Those things are secret because they're intimate. You know, you can't just be flamboyant with those things, because one, you don't know how people are going to take them. Two, you don't know people's intentions. And three, like, you don't even know what you're doing. So, you know, just being careful with that. Now, the good part is I love it completely, because it's like everybody is getting understanding, everybody is manifesting, everybody is healing, vibrating at a high level, and we're able to get so much more downloads. And downloads are basically like messages from God, or, you know, whatever you believe in. Those messages are coming through because we all are rising as the masses.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, like things are also being revealed to us. You know, we're starting to understand certain things. So it's, let's say, it's like a blessing and a curse type thing.
Got you. All right. So we got an amen. So what is one word that is associated with your gift and your word, your universe, that you feel is just overused or misunderstood?
The word witch. Yeah, I feel like once you put witch, like even with me, like my name came Anayka Bruja was because I wanted something that sounded good.
Right.
And that basically was like, okay, you know what I do, without saying like, oh, what does she do? And Nike, the medium, was not enough for me. And Nike, the tarot reader, was not. So I was like, Nike La Bruja. And when, you know, like I was just telling my friend that I wanted to drop La Bruja because I feel like people see La Bruja and they already think that I'm evil or that I do dark things, which I can, but that's not what I choose to do, because I'm much higher than that. You know, I respect myself much more than that. You know, I know my purpose is much bigger than that. So I feel like it's that. But yeah, that's really just it. I feel like now people are way more open, a little bit too open sometimes, but I feel like a lot of people are more open now.
So what would you give, what kind of advice would you give to a parent whose child is starting to understand that they have a gift?
Patience and doing research. And not being oblivious to it, not ignoring it. Because I feel like that was one of my things where I was being ignored. And my mom wasn't sitting there and like, hey, like, what are you seeing? Like having them describe things to them. Because, you know, they're just as scared as you are. They don't understand what's going on. They just know they see their grandma in the corner over there, but they don't know why they see her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just being patient, kind of forgetting what you were brought up with, because it's not you. It's your child now, you know? So I feel like being patient, being understanding, being nurturing, and just kind of having that communication with them, like, hey, what's going on? And you know, bringing them to people like me to talk to them, or saying like, oh, what's up? Like, you know, so they can understand, hey, people are like you. You're not crazy. Like, because that's how I felt. Like, that's why I feel like I was so suicidal too, because I really felt like I was going crazy.
Wow.
Because I felt like I'm hearing these stuff. I'm seeing these things. I don't want to tell nobody I'm hearing these things, because they're not going to understand what I see. So I feel like, you know, knowing like, hey, there's people out there like you. Like, you know, it's so crazy because my best friend right now, her daughter is a medium.
Wow.
And it almost makes me tear up because it's like I'm healing my childhood through her, because she'll be like, my TT Nike is a medium and she can see spirits, and she's so happy about it. But when I was growing up, it wasn't something that was brought up. It wasn't something that was shining the light. So it's like me being able to be there to help guide her, and her mother just being so nurturing, understanding. It's such a beautiful thing to see, because like I said, this was not something that was brought up before. You know what I'm saying? Like they would say, yeah, she got a veil over her eyes, but that was it. Or they'd be like, oh, there's something wrong with that baby or something like that. We're not doing that now. We're literally like, what are you seeing? How are you feeling? Tell them to go away. You have control, and understanding she's in control, you know? So definitely having patience and doing your research.
So how would one go about finding community when they have that gift, especially at a young age? How do they find the community? How do they recognize that this connection is a good connection because this community is genuine versus someone who could possibly take advantage of them?
I really don't have an answer for that, because everything is so misleading now. You will have to start your spiritual journey yourself. Okay. To understand who you are, understand your energy and your intuition. Because once you understand those things, nobody can lie to you. Nobody can try to trick you. Nobody can try to scam you. You will know in your heart and in your spirit if this person truly, truly wants to help you, if they truly, truly do have a gift. You'll know. When you get that, okay, this is kind of sketchy. Then you got to pull back type thing. So I would say it starts within. If you do not have a relationship with yourself and your intuition and your higher self, then you won't be able to. It's like kind of like when you go out here dating, you know that person's not for you. Look how they're making you feel. You know what I'm saying? So
red flag.
Right. And also, if they're coming to ask you for money in your inbox, they're not good for you. If you don't book a session, they don't got reviews, they don't got people shouting them out. No, that's not the one.
Got you. So there are different terms that people hear. Now, we talked about a witch, gypsies, psychics, things like that. Are those, how do those relate to your gift, your journey, or is that a part of your community? Those, are they the same? Are they different?
So intentionally, they are all falling under one category. It's more like a mystical, what is it called? Metaphysical type thing. That's why I say it's falling under the same category. Now, it is different also based off your practices. So, for example, some people call themselves just a healer, or like the medicine woman, or like the hoodoo lady, the voodoo lady, you know what I'm saying? Intentionally, it's all of us just moving energy and healing energy. So necessarily it's the same thing. It's just the way you practice it.
Okay. Hoodoo, voodoo. I've heard you use both those terms tonight. What's the difference?
Hoodoo, I think it's more like with roots and like herbs and stuff like that. Voodoo is like sacrifices, the candles, and it's all based off where you're from. Okay. So most people practice hoodoo, they're from like the South, like Georgia, South Carolina, stuff like that. People who practice voodoo are Haitian or from Louisiana, that Creole mix, it depends where you're from. That's why I say it's almost all the same thing. It's just, it falls under the manipulating energy, but it's all different. Like, for example, I practice Santeria, which we do voodoo. It's not what basically we focus on, but we do like sacrifices and stuff like that as well. Not people, but because I throw out the disclaimer, not people, but we do sacrifice. Sacrifice can be you not eating meat. You know what I'm saying? We believe in those things. So it's like, like palo mayon, that's also a form of voodoo as well. So it's just depending on where you're from.
Okay. See, when you said sacrifice, I think we all thought something immediately. And then you just said it could be not eating meat.
Yeah, it could be as simple as you be like, okay, I'm not going to drink any more liquor anymore. With all sacrifice comes great blessings.
I hope the Lord never asked me to do that. Like, Jesus.
But it might not be even the Lord asking. It might not be something you ask, something that you want to do to gain something else. You know what I'm saying? So like with great sacrifice comes a great blessing. That's how we believe. Whether it's a little thing, it's more of testing your character.
Just because people use roots, it does not mean that they are witches. Hi, Sheila. Do you know Sheila?
No, I don't know Sheila.
Okay, hi Sheila. Thank you. I don't know if she's informing us or asking us. Are you asking a question or are you letting us know?
I think she's more letting us know. That's why I was saying, like, not everybody is a witch. So it's like, but I feel, now this is my belief, it all falls in the same category because we're all trying to manipulate energy here. We're all trying to live a prosperous life. So it's like, that's why I say your title. Like, for example, there is like, because there's like hoodoo, voodoo, brujeria, which is different from witchcraft, because brujeria, it's more like in Mexico. It's like the study of witchcraft, but in Mexico. And so there's like a Wicca, which is the people of the fair skin, that they do things they do, so it's so it's like different, so it's just basically where you're from, who your people, who they people is, and what they told you.
Heard. Mm-hmm. So someone who is born in like maybe Christianity or Islam faith or Judaism, and they have this gift, I'm sure that's a struggle.
It is.
So how would you recommend, if any advice you can give on how to deal with that? Because I think they would feel like they're pulled in different directions. But what was saying, spirituality is a part of all of that. So how do they come to that understanding? What advice could you give them?
No shade and shade completely to this, y'all. I'm sorry I have to say this, but stop telling your Christian friends you can see things, because they're going to tell you and they're going to make you feel like you're wrong. So understanding that there's more beyond, but you can't share it with certain people, because I feel like those religions are meant to control you and keep you at a certain thing. Now, I have met Christians and I have clients that are Christians that are open to them. Do they tell their people? No. Because of the same reason of this control, or whatever the case may be. So that's just my beliefs, you know. So it's more of like I said, doing your research and understanding like, hey, there's more than I see. Like there's people like, I'm pretty sure there's a lady right now that sees spirits, and they call it having the veil over your eyes. Like, sees spirits, does readings, and she goes to church every Sunday, and she is a very Christian woman, but she doesn't tell anybody this. They just say that she's a prophet. It's the same thing.
Got you.
Because they're prophesizing. So you're telling the future necessarily, right? So it's just worded a little different, and I feel like it's more controlled.
Got you. Okay, love it. All right, so let's tell some funny stories. Okay. What is one of the funniest requests you've ever gotten?
Okay, let me tell you. I just want to let y'all know, ancestors, elders, they have personalities and they are funny.
Yeah.
They're funny as hell. So, I'm trying to remember one. So, like, I'll go in the grocery store and I'll hear, you see that man over there? Yeah, he just wiped the booger on that over there. Like, they'll literally tell me certain things, and I'll be like, why did I need to know this spirit? You nasty ass. Like, I will like do I'll do a mediumship or a tarot reading. And I remember one time I heard this lady's grandma, she was like, yeah, you need to go do your hair and fix yourself up because you've been looking a mess. And I had to sit here and be like, so you ain't did your hair in a couple weeks? And they'll be like, yeah, I ain't brushed my hair in about a month. And I'm like, yeah, your granny over here telling me that this is not how she raised you, so get this shit together.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they have like their personalities. They're still how they are. I have like spirits that will come and be loud and have cups of liquor in their hands. Like, yeah, like they'll be like these party people. Yeah, because that's how they were in the physical world.
That is so cool. Do you have like and okay, so my only real reference is Ghost Whisperer. That's one of my favorite TV shows.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, good. So she would have a ghost that would be with her for a minute because they just would not pass on, and they were like, I'm gonna stay in this spiritual realm for as long as I possibly can because I don't want to cross over.
Right.
Have you had a spirit stay with you constantly?
Yes, I've had to tell them to leave because, like I said, I'm in control. So, and I like to make them know that. There's this thing where I call where my porch light is on. So basically, it's a light that I turn on in the middle of the physical world. Like literally, I imagine this light being on. If this light's on, you can talk to me. If it's not, leave me the hell alone. Do not knock on my door.
Wow.
So I will separate them. And I'll be like, hey, you gotta go the fuck home. Like you can't sit here with me. I've had spirits linger, only because they know that because I do bookings So they know I'm finna talk to their loved ones. So like recently, like maybe like 2 days ago, I had a reading with a girl and her daughter did die, and her daughter was there with me, and I was like, okay, so child, you cool, chill, just chill, let's just chill. You know what I'm saying? So she was there, and I felt her the moment she booked the reading. I felt her, and she was there, and I was like, okay, just chill. You know, we're good. You're a child. You're not here to hurt me. I know that you know I'm gonna talk to your mother. So I do have those spirits. Now I do have spirits that are not really good spirits and that they want to stick with me. And I'm like, no, you know that's not going to work. So go back to the hole that you crawl out of. So
we don't have to go ahead and cut this short.
Right. Because it is very draining.
All right. We got from one of our viewers that they're everywhere.
They are literally everywhere. Like I told you when we went into when I was doing the reading, the guy he was in the bathroom with me, like he was behind me. I'm like, bro, what's going on? I'm like, chill. And I'm like, look, if they
what is it with your bathroom?
I don't know. The mirrors. The mirror is a portal.
Cause see, I'll be the main one. So look,
yeah,
I'm going in here alone.
Right. and doors too. Doors are portals and mirrors.
Mm-hmm. Doors and mirrors. Mm-hmm. What about water?
Water as well. Mm-hmm. Water can transfer energy and hold energy. It is one of the biggest tools to manifest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This is so fascinating. Mm-hmm. I could ask you questions all night. So tell our audience how they can get in touch with you if they are interested in having a reading.
So I am on Facebook. I majorly am on Facebook. I am on Instagram, and I am on TikTok under Anayka La Bruja, just like it's spelled up here. You can reach out to me, and my phone number is public as well, so you can always text me on my number as well.
All right, so we have one. I keep telling people not to have those mirrors facing each other or the TVs. Mm-hmm. Mirrors facing each other.
Yes, that's not good. It's a portal.
Oh.
And that's why you're not supposed to sleep with mirrors by your bed as well, facing you. You can have dreams. Things can attack you more easily. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a thing about pictures with people's faces in them.
Okay.
Like it feels weird if I feel like I'm being watched. Mm-hmm. So I never have pictures of people in my bedroom because I'm just like, Is that something that I've made up, or is that
no? That's very much real.
Really?
Yeah. You said what it is you can read those pictures. If you literally look at someone's picture, a stranger's picture, you could read their picture. So that's why you could be feeling their energy off those pictures, and it just could be too much for you.
Because I just thought that was something that
you might be a really strong empath.
Really? Because I like, if you go in my room right now, the only picture I have is my daughter, but her eyes are closed. And unfortunately, it was after she had passed. So that was the picture. But she's the only one. I don't have pictures of anyone else. Now I have landscapes, no people.
So like when you look at those landscapes, how did it make you feel?
Free. It makes me feel like I'm a nature person. And when I think of nature, I just think of nature is like the best explanation of God's power and how amazing he is, because he said, let there be water. And, you know, science tells us there's a water cycle, but he didn't say, let there be a water cycle where the water does this, that, and the third. It just does because he said that. So to me, nature is just the best explanation of how amazing he is. And I feel connected with him when I'm in nature, when I like a beautiful day is something that just, you know, you go outside, the sky is clear, there's a breeze, and you're just like,
it just does it for you.
It does. And I'll be driving and just be like, oh my God, thank you for this beautiful day. Like nature just really connects me with him. So nature, yes. People in pictures.
So that's how I was saying you could be a very strong empath, because you're feeling the energy. You're seeing beyond those images. You're feeling and you're matching with that energy. So one day, you know, if you feel comfortable enough, literally look at a stranger's picture and it will tell you so much about them.
Really?
Like look in their eyes. You'll be like, yeah, this person, this, and that.
I'm gonna call her, y'all, as soon as it happens. I'll be like, girl, it happened. We gotta talk.
Right. And then ask that person, like, hey, did you go through this? Did you go through that? You'll see it in their eyes. When I used to test myself and be like, how good am I?
Give me a picture.
Give me a picture. You what they say, your eyes are the gateway to the soul.
Right. And that's all I have a minute. All right, what we got? We got Marie. And we got I Can't Sleep with Doors Open. Marie Love. Oh, who is this a person?
Marie Laveau, yes, it is a person. She was a known voodooist, basically, in Louisiana. They have like a museum of hers. Have you ever watched American Horror Story?
Bits and pieces.
The Coven. Watch it. That'll be your favorite one.
Okay.
Why? Angela Baskin is playing her in it.
Angela Bassett play everybody.
And she kills it. But basically, she was a known voodoo priest from a long time, like a very like centuries ago. They say that her spirit and stuff that she still could be alive.
That's just cool. Now I will say, I think that a lot of people are so fascinated with this because it just opens up a world of possibilities. And you know, again, they're talking to someone that is passed on, that closure that it provides and things like that. Talk to us a little bit more. In your bio, you said you wanted to be an herbalist.
Yes.
So now are we moving from the spiritual when we're doing the herbalist, or are we still?
So I'm not moving from it, but I am putting it down for a little bit, only because I love what I do, like I said, but I don't want it to feel like a job.
Okay.
So I just want to be like, hey, your spirit said this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, hey, spirit said this. You know
so it's talking to me again.
Right. And they won't leave me alone.
Right.
No, I want it to be more of something I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about it. But when I feel like it's becoming a job, it's like with anything. Once you feel like it's a job, you'd be like, I don't want to do it no more. But like I said, my ultimate goal is to heal. And that's with everything. I feel like I have healing hands and I'm a healing spirit. So I feel like, the greatest way to heal is through medicine and herbal magic and herbal healing. And it's just something that I was always been interested in. My overall dream is actually to be a doula.
Oh.
Yes, I want to help bring babies into this world, and I also want to help, heal and learn like different herbs and stuff like that, so I can use those things together.
So that moment when a child comes into the world, talk about the spiritual connections, ramifications, the moment in that moment, like the things that we may possibly miss because we don't know or understand.
Right.
Like what is happening in that moment?
One, like you said, it's life. Life is being created. Your as my point of like wanting to be a doula is to be able to guide that energy and that life to this life, like to the world, and do it in a way that it's protecting this child. It's not because like also because of women of color, we don't get treated right in the hospital. So I want to create an environment where it's high vibrations. There's no a whole bunch of needles and blood and all this like traumatic stuff going on. Like I really want to create a healthy high vibrational place where this child can have an opportunity to come into the world with no struggles, no stress. So that's and I feel like once you do that in the first moments of a child life, it's gonna hold on, it's gonna carry on to the rest of their life.
Wow.
And I do want to share because she's asking me to share. So in my religion, there's orishas. Orishas are basically like almost like deities. They're not really deities though because they're called orishas. My orisha is Oya. That's my mother. That's who my head is. She is actually over the first breath that you take. So I feel like it's my purpose because that's who I'm a child of. She is also over. She also is in the cemetery. So she helps spirits cross over and bring spirits to the cemetery when they pass. So I feel like because I'm working with the dead, I have to work with the living and bring in life too, because that's just what my purpose is. So I feel like that connection with bringing children in the world is greater than what I am. This is kind of what I have to do type thing. And it's also bringing everything in sync.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to check our comments right quick. All right. So if you have any additional questions about what Night does, if you have some clarifications you want to give, vocabulary that you heard, put those questions in the comments. If you have just comment, you want to just check in and say, hey, definitely put that in. While we're waiting for those to come in, talk to us about your family life. How did your husband react? When you told him,
number one supporter.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, so I've been married for about 3 years now. Well, I've been with him for 3 years. I've been married for about like 6 months. But in my culture, it's like we live together, we're married. So, he's my number one supporter. When he found out what I did, that's the reason why he got with me.
Really?
My husband also practices what I practice. He's very open to everything. He's also a medium as well. He doesn't do it as a career, but he does it for himself. You know, he knows he has his abilities. He loves it completely. Like he's like, oh my God, that's why I married you. That's why I'm gonna be with you. Because I believe that nobody can understand me, and not really anybody could just be with me but him, because he knows what it takes to be someone. Like, you know, like basically I'm pretty sure you can't be with somebody that don't understand that you're a bartender. You know what I'm saying? You can, like, there's no.
I say it all the time. If you
Yeah.
can't understand that I'm an ambitious person, we can't be together.
Right. And
that's
that's
not going away.
That's how I feel my spirituality, you know, like, and he is okay with me being like, babe, like something isn't feeling right. Like he'll be like, sit there and be like, okay, well, how you feeling? Like, what's going on? So he's cool with it. You know, I was almost shocked. I was like, oh my God, like, you're okay with this? He's like, yeah. And
you embracing yourself.
Right.
Here we go. And he's like, I'm cool. Huh?
Right.
That is not what I was expecting you to say.
Right. So he was like very like open to it, very supportive. You know, sometimes I'll get messages and he'll get them too, and we'll be like, you heard that? Like, yeah, I heard that.
That's one thing. You like sitting there watching TV. You heard that, right?
No, while you playing, that actually happened one time.
Really?
Yes. Like, so we were sitting there and he started whistling, and I was like, stop whistling. And he was like, wow. And I was like, you know why? Because, you know, that's calling spirits. He did it again, and we heard a whistle back. And I was like, see what you did?
Look what you did.
Like, see what you did? So, you know, like, he know, yeah. So it was like stuff like that will happen. My son is very gifted. My son, I'm kind of helping him and guiding him. Thankfully, his father, because he has his own father, and so his father does practice the religion I do too. So it's pretty cool, you know what I'm saying, seeing him being involved as being a child and not as an adult. You know, it's easier to kind of put in more in his life and him understanding a little bit more. Now, my mom, number one supporter as well. My mom was actually the first one to teach me about spirituality. Being that I'm Hispanic, you know, it's not something that's frowned upon in our culture. It is like not talked about like that, like open, but it is something that happens behind closed doors.
Sound like go talk to your cousin.
Yeah. right. Like go talk to your auntie. My mom actually took me to my aunt to get my first reading at like 13 years old. Wow. Mm-hmm. My aunt told me everything I needed to know, and I was like, God, she don't know what she talked about. Everything she told me happened, and she told me, she was like, you're like me. And I was like, well, you're alone? Like crazy? Like, what are you talking about?
Damn, Nike. You're like me, single.
Okay. That's probably her listening to me talk about her.
She said, witch.
Right. No, for real. So then when I got older, I'm like, oh, that's what she meant about me being like her. So mom was also very supportive, but she didn't believe that I was a medium until one day she bought her best friend to a metro I was working at a metro PCS, and I was getting her phone, and I was like, oh, here go these damn spirits again. And I was telling my auntie, I was like, this and that, you know, this is her best friend. She was looking at me, and my mom was like, is she telling you the truth? She was like, yeah. She was like, I didn't even know this about you. And she was like, I know.
Wow.
And my mom was like, my mom almost looked at me, and she was like, she even asked me, she was like, I can't believe I birthed you. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I never knew that. She was like, I would listen to you. Like, shit, you're my child. I'm going to support you. But she was like, I did not know that it was to this extent until you showed me. After that, my mom was full-fledged. Like, she was like, I'm going to post you. I'm going to tell everybody about you.
Hashtag talk to my daughter.
Right. Literally, that was her. Like, she was my number one promoter.
I love it.
Now, my other family, they are heavily Catholic. They are very, let's just say I don't talk to them.
You been hit with some holy water?
No, not yet, but I'm pretty sure they waiting and seeing about
they got it in the pocket. There she is. Go get her.
Right. My brothers and stuff, very supportive. Like I said, they don't choose to follow like spirituality or anything like that. One of my brothers is actually a medium as well. He don't really, like I said, follow it and stuff, but he does acknowledge that he does see spirits. They'll come get readings from me about their girlfriends. They'll come get readings to me about their life.
Not trying to get a background check from the spirits.
They'll actually, like, if they make decisions, they'll be like, hey, like, how's this decision? How would it play out for me? So we'll talk to them about it, stuff like that. Like, I remember one time before my brothers graduated, because they're all younger than me, so I'm the oldest. Before they graduated, I was like, I don't know. I was like, they keep telling me that we're going to be separated. And I got really sad. I was like, what do you mean I'm going to be separated? So it's so crazy because now we actually are separated. One of them lived in South Carolina running a business. My other brother is in the Navy. And then my baby brother is in Miami going to school. And then like my sisters, they're younger than me. So like one of them, they're both in school, living their own lives. So it's like, we were all separated, but it's so crazy because we've never been this close, even if we're far apart. Like we talk every day, we FaceTime, like, you know, we'll be like, hey, I was just thinking of you, and just text each other. So it's like we're more united. And I feel like it's because we do have spiritual gifts. It's just they just prefer not to really, I guess,
walk it every day.
Yeah, walk it every day, but they know that it's there. Mm-hmm. And I'm very grateful. And I'm thankful that I'm able to have like my family support, because a lot of people don't. And that's one thing that, you know, like I tell people, like, I'm sorry, like I apologize. I don't know why, but I just feel bad for them. Like, hey, like, I'm sorry that people don't accept you for who you are. I'm sorry, you know, your mom's not letting you be who you are because they're trying to force something on you that's not you, or just because they were brought up like that. So I am very grateful that my family, the people that I care about, support me.
I love that. Oh, I'm so glad you came on the show tonight. I'm sad our time is up. But guys, we have had such an amazing conversation with you. And I can't even tell you all those. I feel like somebody's talking. Was that music that I'm hearing? Or am I going nuts?
No, yeah, it was music.
Okay, oh Lord. All right. So guys, we are gonna be coming back next week, of course, with another guest on Dylan's Dive Bar. Thank you so much tonight for coming in. Thank you for all of you who joined in with your questions, your comments. Keep putting them in there. We'll come back throughout the week and check and see if anybody said anything. And as always, remember, you were designed to thrive, so stick to the plan. And we will see you guys next week on Dylan's Dive Bar. Peace.